welcome to the virtual Career Lounge session, helping you be a greater you. I'm your host, Mario Algarin. This lounge is designed to help middle school and high school students prepare for life after high school, because we believe that failing to plan is planning to fail. So today's topic is workforce skills and soft skills. We're going to talk about different workforce and soft skills needed for career success. Including communication, teamwork, and problem solving. So before we get into that, we want to give a special thank to our sponsors for this Career Lounge session, and it's sponsored by EXL, a leading data analytics and digital operations and solutions company. To learn more about EXL, you can go to exlservice.com. Thanks to their sponsorship, we're able to bring this lounge to you at no cost. A little bit about us. We are Love Our Youth. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization providing programs for youth. Our mission is to leverage the power of collaboration to uplift and empower youth and their families within our communities. So before we kick off today's topic, let's learn more about our panelists.
Hi, my name is Linda Poor. I am a Senior Assistant Vice President of Human Resources at EXL. Essentially, I work with business leaders to help plan and solve for any people-related problems that help us achieve our business strategy. I've been in HR all of my career, been at EXL for the last 6 years. And I selected HR as a career field just because I felt like it was a great opportunity to both really help people make the best of their work experiences and also help businesses succeed.
Hi, my name is Karen Bach. I am a VP of Healthcare Compliance here at EXL, and I've been here approximately maybe 16 years. And I've been in healthcare compliance for probably 20 plus years, and it's just one of those careers that I kind of just fell into. I started as, in an insurance company, and I was starting as a temp and just worked my way up. So I just I've been in this field, and I just, want to make sure that our team is compliant. So that's what my role is.
Hi, my name is Amy Garton, and I am a recruiter with the Human Resources Group supporting our healthcare division at EXL. I've been recruiting for about 12 years professionally. Started my career recruiting for volunteer programs and continued to work with clinical professionals and continue to work with registered nurses and other clinical practitioners and also business leaders. So at EXL, I am helping our hiring managers connect with talented, qualified professionals so that we can select the talent that we need with both the skills and the soft skills required for our business operations to be successful. So it's been a lot of fun to work with people, connect professionals with great opportunities here at EXL so that they can have a meaningful and fulfilling career and profession.
All right, I'll jump in. So Kimberly Marley, I am a vice president for healthcare working in sales, and I've been in healthcare for the past 28 years, really helping payers and providers and healthcare organizations better serve their members and their patients by helping them to, digitally transform their platforms, helping them to access their data, really just making it a seamless experience for their end user, which is a member or patient. So it's you, your friends, your family. So just making it a better experience all the way around. And I am based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And so that's me.
And I guess I'll go next. John Fedorko. I'm a senior assistant vice president and an attorney. I'm aligned with our healthcare business as well, with our litigation business line. I'm the product manager and in-house legal counsel for Subrogation. I spend a lot of my time working on our products, making sure our products are up to date and current, as well as working with other attorneys and negotiating resolutions for our subrogation cases. I've been with EXL since 2000.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for sharing that. So let's kick this off. Let's go ahead into our first question. And I like this question here because I've been, over the last couple of months, I've been fortunate to go into different places, schools and boys and girls clubs and just different communities to talk about careers. And so some of this language is some of the things we're trying to expose the kids to. So when they go into the workforce or start looking for work, they know what they're actually talking about, or it's not a surprise hearing stuff like soft skills for the first time. So, what are workforce skills and why are they important for teens entering the job market?
Yeah, that's a really broad question.
Yeah.
I actually think workforce skills could be just about any skill that you have out there. It's an ability to that you bring to the workplace, that you bring to a job or a role that helps you complete whatever the tasks of that role are. And it's interesting. The reason I say it's about anything is certainly we've seen a lot of transition in the types of jobs and the kinds of jobs out there over the last 20 years or so. Um, and so, what used to be maybe more traditional, there were certain things that were only the skills of jobs. Now, I think that there's a lot more breadth and opportunity out there. Holistically, though, I think when you think about workforce skills, the things you think about is there are some natural talent you have and interests that you bring to a job that help you kind of select your field or the job you're going to have. But then there are also universal skills that I think everybody needs in order to be successful. And I think at least the couple that jump to mind for me in that space are things like your ability to really manage your time well, to be able to set priorities, to be able to solve problems. Because those types of skills to get along and build relationships with others, those skills you're going to need universally, no matter what role you hold.
Yeah, and I think to add on to what Linda was saying, I think another aspect is teamwork. The ability to not only work independently to incorporate all of the different skills that you have, but more often you're going to be working with a team in a department or even with other people in other departments. So I think teamwork is a valued skill set also, because it just enables you to be able to work with others and listen to others, adapt to their styles. And I think it's just helpful for the success of whatever your job is or your role is or your project is. Just be able to have that teamwork skill set.
And I think adding to what Karen just said, communication, whether that's in a team, individually, with your manager, communicate, overly communicate, whether that's in person, being, on video, being, via email, written communication. I think communication is very, very important in the skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of communication, I think active listening is critical. I was having a chat with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about people that we know who, when you're having a conversation with them, you get the sense that they're just waiting to talk next. They're not really listening to what you're saying. You really need to be an active listener and take in what your colleagues are saying, what your teammates are saying when you're on a Teams call. Don't interrupt and don't just wait for your turn to speak. Digest what they're saying, and that really helps for collaboration and to move forward in whatever project you're working on.
That's awesome. It's such a key thing. And I know that first question, like you were saying, Linda, was such a broad question. And communication is something I do want to talk a little bit more about. But before we get there, can we kind of define for these kids, the ones that will be listening to this podcast, define the difference between a hard skill and a soft skill, and maybe even say why are both important?
I think very, very generally, or from a very simplistic definition, soft skills are really about how you work and interact with your colleagues. They're very transferable from whether you're doing project management or legal work, whereas hard skills or technical skills are the specific skills that you have for your job, whether it's IT or whether it's law or human resources.
Yeah, I think that a hard skill may be something that you would learn formally in an academic program Or
Okay.
perhaps you might attain a certification to establish that you have completed training and have that hard skill. Soft skills may be more intuitive. They may be more related to your emotional intelligence, communication, the team has talked about as well, collaboration. These are skills that might not be measurable by data, but are really essential to be successful across a team in particular. A lot of times we think about customer service as a skill. I think that can be a hard skill and a soft skill. Many times we're not necessarily working with a customer outside the organization that we're serving, but we're serving each other as customers and clients, and offering customer service to your coworker or your manager or somebody within the legal team, if I'm in human resources, for example.
The way that we talk about it, sometimes when we talk about it in a business environment from a performance perspective, the hard skill is the what you do. It's the job assignment, it's the technical skill, it's the subject matter or the actual role that you're delivering. It's the what. And the soft skill is more about the how you deliver it. It's the way you get the job done, how you interact with your teammates, how you communicate, how you lead. Those aspects are the soft skill.
Would you consider like your personal character to be a part of that soft skills?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you bring to the table is your integrity, your personal character, your beliefs, your, I think definitely it's part of the soft skill.
Yeah, because
Your
I
bias.
Experiences.
what was that?
And you bring your experiences to the table as well.
Yes. Yes. I often tell people, like the hard skills, I see them also as like skills that you acquire through some kind of training, and you could be talented. You could have all this training. And I often tell people that your talent will get you in the door, but your character keeps you in the room. So we always tell people that it's always so important to develop, especially like integrity, honor and respect and all those things. And it's very, very important. And going back to communication, because I believe communication is key in any company or anywhere you go, because communication is always needed in any kind of relationship, whether it's customer, employee to employee, personal. And when you communicate clearly, then those relationships can grow strongly. But when you fail to lack to talk or communicate the proper way, then those relationships start to kind of die off, So I want to talk about that. How does communication play a crucial role in developing workforce skills?
I think it's about developing relationships as well. Making sure that you've got relationships both with your hiring manager, but also your colleagues. You also have influential relationships. I think you utilize that communication across the organization to build those relationships that will support you in your career.
I think that communication is really the foundation of all soft skills. And you really need to be able to, again, both communicate and effectively listen in order to be adaptable, in order to be collaborative, in order to work with your teammates. As you get into problem solving, I mentioned earlier that we all bring our individual experiences to the table. EXL is a global company. We all come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and we need to be cognizant of that and communicate with one another respectfully and understand each other's positions and situations.
As John mentioned, bringing your own perspective and your style of communication is essential in the work environment, and also recognizing that others may have different communications as well. So there are preferred styles that you do learn about your coworkers, especially working in a remote environment, for example. We have lots of modes and methods of communication. Some may prefer email, some may prefer chat. And so understanding what those preferences are, sometimes you may need to communicate with data. Sometimes you may need to just have personal conversations with your coworkers. And each of those elements is important to have individual working relationship with your individual coworkers.
All
The reason
right.
it comes down to communication, like what John was saying, is there are very, very few jobs that you do solely independently with no interaction with people. And if there is any interaction with people, which is the vast majority of everything we would do from a work perspective, the foundation of that's got to be the communications.
Yeah, I think, when it comes to communication as well, is learning how somebody else receives that communication is so key because we sometimes, we communicate to others the way we think they're going to receive it or the way we like to receive it. But that's that relationship building piece. So learning how your coworker communicates best. And so like it's so key. And then, like you guys are saying, you're from all over the place, different cultures and everything like that. So it's important to listen. And I think that's an art that sometimes is lost in the communication piece, the listening piece. We think communication is just talking, not realizing that it's also the body language, the tone, and all these things. So these are soft skills that we have to be developing constantly and be aware of. So I want to at least give the teens something practical, some that they can use at home and how to develop these soft skills. So, for example, how can teens showcase their soft skills in job interviews and in resumes?
I think there's a lot of ways that teens can showcase that. And I think sometimes they don't realize that there is a lot of ways that they can do that. Some of it comes from academic experiences because a lot of times in school environments, you do participate in team assignments or things along those lines where you can talk about how you took a role to help make that team effective or to help create better communication or to help ensure that you achieved your success, which are all soft types of skills. But I think the bigger thing and the better opportunities where you can showcase a ton of soft skills is through the things you do outside of the classroom. And it's really, really critical that as you come into a work environment, the way you're going to be able to demonstrate and share lots of different skills is by having a really diverse background in the things that you did beyond school, the activities you participate in, and the roles you play in those activities. You should really take every advantage you can to build those opportunities because that's where you interact with other people and you have natural opportunities to take leadership roles and you have conflict and you win and you lose and all of those different things can happen between sporting events and musical experiences and art experiences and volunteering experiences. All of that matters and gives you skills, particularly soft skills that you can bring to the table.
I think another way of developing soft skills as you grow is find those people in your life that you admire or that you emulate. And I can think back to high school, through college, through law school, through early jobs, and I take bits and pieces of individuals that I learn things from about how they communicate, how they solve problems, how they deal with others. And conversely, there have been those around me that I've taken other lessons from. Not don't do it this way. Learn from the mistakes of others as well.
Yeah, something I was going to say is, this generation, these young people coming into high school or college, they're used to seeing videos and YouTube and Instagram and all of the social media. Take advantage of that. The TED Talks. There's a bazillion different types of TED Talks, not just in general from education, but from the business side as well. And educate yourself, stay curious, make yourself a subject matter expert in some topic, even if it's just communication or if it's interviewing or if it's, resolving conflict, educate yourself on some of the available videos out there on the social network or the internet, and then, create, what you learned from that. And you can actually add that onto your resume too, as additional, certified in conflict resolution or certified in data and engineering, whatever your interest might be or the industry that you're trying to get into. Stay curious, educate yourself, take the step to go out there and find information that can make you more better to more educated on the topic or the subject or the organization that you're interviewing with or the industry that you're looking to get into.
Yeah, Karen, I think those are all great takeaways and actions that students can take if we're looking at or thinking about what to add to a resume that employers are going to be reviewing. perhaps you worked on a creative project and you used some technical skill to design an advertisement, for example. Or maybe it's an Instagram reel that you've created, for example. You might speak to not just how you technically created it, how you thought about the audience. What was your intention in that communication? And then maybe bring in some, data about the metrics around that if you have those available. So you can think about it in two parts. A very specific skill on the resume, and then adding in that other component of the intention of how you thought about the audience or how you communicated that. And you can create a section on your resume that has your technical skill sets. I think those will be really essential. You can create a section that speaks to the soft skills. Teamwork, collaboration, communication has been some of those that we've mentioned today.
That is all awesome information. Thank you for sharing all that with us. And I want to make it a little more personal. Can you share an example of how soft skills helped you advance in your career? Maybe it's something that you weren't really good at, but over time you developed it and you worked at it. So what's a soft skill that you can look back at and know and say, this skill here helped me advance to where I'm at today?
I'll step up. I think the listening is very important. I'm in a client-facing position. I'm always meeting with, client executives or client, someone from the client side, and it's really about listening. I walk in with a blank sheet of paper, and I want to know what are their challenges? How, what are they looking to solve? And so being able to listen to their challenges and really understand what the problem is they're trying to resolve. And then, creating an environment, leaning in and creating an environment where they feel safe to share that. And that goes back to that, trust and your character, and just, creating that environment for them to open up and share with you the challenges they have, so that you can come back with a resolve to some of those challenges.
I like that, because how can you solve the problem if you never locate it? If you never...
Exactly. And so many people will walk in with a PowerPoint. I know what your problem is, and here's how I'm going to solve it. And that made me crazy. And I would say, no, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
We are from the outside. They know the business. So really just listening and creating that environment where they feel safe to say, hey, we dropped the ball here, or this doesn't really work. We're kind of faking it here. Help us get to the bottom of this. Help us have a better process or a better flow, or digitize, automate, whatever it might be. But it's about listening and doing what is that, 20-80 or 80-20 rule? Do 20% of the talking.
Yeah.
And let them, and they'll tell you. And then again, that's part of building that relationship as well. So next time, oh yeah, she came in and, really wanted to know what were the problems we were having. And so I think it just sets the stage that I'm here, I'm listening, how can I help you?
Yeah,
That
is so good, because if you let them talk, they're actually the expert in the issue that they're dealing with.
Sort of in the middle of a situation where we're trying to get our client to really understand what our client wants. And we've had a few meetings, and there's been some disconnect on both sides, and there's no blame to be had, but we've just had a tough time grasping what the client needs and how we get there. So because of the relationship that I have with one individual, with the client who I've known for 15 years, we kind of had a sidebar conversation and just determined, the way we need to move this off center. And in the near future, we have a in-person meeting to get this moving forward. And I think we're finally on the right path.
I'll throw one out there that's really different. It's actually a little ways back in my career, but I was actually interviewing for a new role with a new company, and I was out of town, and I was in a rental car and had a minor accident on the way to the interview, which obviously I had to tell folks because I ended up being slightly late for my interview day. But I went to the interview, like I kind of just shook it off and went to the interview and talked with folks. And, without exception, many commented about the resilience of just being able to stay focused and move forward and put that setback behind me. And I think that resilience is a big key in a lot of work experiences. There are going to be problems, there's going to be change, there's going to be things you like and things you don't like. But if you can stay resilient and find ways to be positive through change and demonstrate that leadership, it can make a big difference. Getting the job, even though I was late for the interview. So,
And I love that because you know what? How many times are you going to fail? How many times have we failed? More times than I've succeeded. And that's the thing, the resilience. I love that, Linda, because you've got to have that resilience to get back up. Don't get in your head, get the resilience to get back up and say, I've got this. Just one foot in front of the other. Just keep going. And the grit. So I love that resilience.
From a recruiting perspective, I think curiosity can certainly go a long way, and it's applicable really to any area of the business. Being curious about the other person's experience, asking good questions, engaging in a conversation with follow-up questions. And I think that lends itself to empathy as well. When I am talking with people who are interviewing for a job, there can be a lot of emotions around interviewing. Maybe it's nervousness. There can be a lot of excitement too. And so I recognize those emotions, like to ask good questions so I can understand the type of work that they're interested in and what motivates them. And recognizing that as we continue to move through interviews, it's often a big decision to make a job change. So empathy and understanding that person's perspective, or trying to understand that person's perspective and their experience, I think can make for a better experience in the first part of what can be an employee's journey when they're joining the company.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up something, from past history with, working and communicating and, just knowing when to ask questions, I think is key. Because I know sometimes in my past history, I would start working on a project or working to respond to a question that came my way. And, doing different research, because part of compliance, we have to understand different laws and regulations. And by doing the research, I thought I was possibly going down the right path. So I thought I had the right answer. So I felt confident, but then, there was something in the back of my mind thinking, I am not 100% sure. So part of that was to have a discussion with my boss. I felt comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm not 100% sure on this. Can you help me? Am I going down the right path? Am I missing something? So just having that confidence to be aware that you may not have all the right answers, or, it's just something that there could be something that you're missing, and it's okay to ask. So I think that was something that helped me to realize that, I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect, even though part of me thinks, there could be times where I'm right, but just having that comfort level with yourself that, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not be 100% all the time, and accept, the positive feedback or even negative feedback from that.
Yeah, that's such a key tool to learning. Just ask the question,
Mm-hmm.
and don't leave the room with the question. If someone's there that has the expertise in the area they're trying to grow in, ask the questions.
Yeah, especially when you're first starting out with, getting through school, even while you're in school. It's like I always say, it's like, there's no stupid question. There might be, different answers, but there's never a stupid question. So doesn't hurt to ask.
That's right.
That's my
That's
philosophy.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. One final question before we move into the hot seat. A couple of fun questions. So what is a final advice that you would give teens on developing workforce skills and soft skills?
I would say that it's a lifelong journey. You're going to, start out your career, and you're going to learn as you go. You're going to see people in action. As I alluded to earlier, you're going to learn from them. And I think, as Karen just said, you're never going to get everything 100% right. There'll be times where maybe you had a meeting with your team, or you were involved in a discussion or some type of collaboration, and you didn't handle it as well as you might have thought you should have. and that's okay. And take that and learn from it. So we talked about making mistakes and resilience. So it's a lifelong project. It's a lifelong learning process. Learn from your mistakes and make a different mistake tomorrow.
John, that is so good because I think we've been living in what they call a microwave society for the longest now. Everybody wants everything quickly,
Mhm.
and knowing that it is a journey. Some things might happen fast, but some things are going to take some time, especially if you're trying to build something great. It's going to take time. So that is such a key thing there, just understanding that it's a journey, and we learn in the process of this journey. We learn so many different things, and just take it as that, as a moment to grow in every step that we go, even in our failure. I like that.
And I think to add on to a key word you just said was, the growth. I think, by knowing where your limitations are, it's okay to admit you're wrong or you had the wrong interpretation. It's okay. If somebody calls you out that, hey, you missed this, or, unfortunately that may not be the correct answer. It's like, oh, okay, take it as feedback, positive feedback, and just learn from that. So, I mean, it's okay that if you don't get it right, it's okay. Or if you did something wrong and you're called out on it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I accept that. So it's okay to accept that mistakes.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't take it as negative unless the person who is telling you that you may or may not like that person, but it's not how they're presenting it. It's just you have to listen to what the feedback is and say, oh, okay, I was wrong. Let me make sure I learn from that, and next time I hopefully won't make the same mistake.
Mm-hmm. Keyword there, listen. Just listen first, and then just process it. Is what this person's saying actually truth? And then
And that could open another dialogue.
yes,
They may not be listening to what you're saying. They may only be hearing or thinking what they want to present. So that's the whole open dialogue
awesome,
concept.
awesome.
Something that someone told me as I was starting off my career is, Kimberly, just show up. Showing up is more than what 50% of the people will do. So like if that door opens, walk through. It may be a conversation that leads to another conversation. Just show up. A lot of people won't show up, and don't let perfection be the enemy of progress. Like you think, oh, I can't go to that meeting. I'm not fully prepared. Or I can't meet that person. It's going to take me 2 hours to drive. Just show up. I just feel like that is so important in life today. Show up. If that door opens, walk through. You never know what's on the other side.
I'm writing that one down.
Kimberly,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
that's really powerful, Kimberly. And having a variety of experiences, trying a lot of different things will help you get closer to where your interests are, where you do maybe want to pursue a specialized education pathway or a specialized workforce skill or a certification. So trying a lot of different things can help you do that. And you may not know early what that specific career pathway is for you, and you may have a lot of jobs over the course of your career, and naturally you will pick up skills along the way through having those variety of experiences. But it is important that you show up, that you take the chance, that you explore it. And if you have a mentor or someone in your life, who can support you in those areas of interest, or, help connect you with a community group or an employment opportunity, internships and volunteer experiences were very important for me early in my education, both through high school and through college. And even though those are short experiences, they were big clues for me to help me know what type of education I wanted to pursue and the type of career that I wanted to pursue.
And I love that about the mentor. Sorry, Linda. I love the mentor. Ask your friends at church, at school, at neighbors. Ask. Look who's here. We all love to share our knowledge with the younger generation. And you guys are fun. The younger generation, you guys are fun. We love hanging out with you. I feel like it's such a privilege and an honor when my kids' friends want me to hang out with them. Like, we want to see you succeed. Ask. 99% of the time, they will say yes. Sorry, Linda.
No, that's great because that's very true. And I would say invest everything you can in the soft skills because those soft skills will take you to any role. They apply to every role. The more people that you interact with, the more you're capable of interacting with a diverse group of people, utilizing those soft skills. That's going to make all the difference in your success, no matter what your technical skills are.
Agree.
Man, this has been so good. It's been an absolute joy having this conversation. I can probably sit here all day, talk about these things with this group here. Amazing input, amazing just display of how to actually apply these things in the workforce. And before we leave, we like to do something called the hot seat, just some fun questions. And so I'm going to ask the question. Anybody can go in any order, but if you can be anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Anywhere? Scotland. Just because I love the country.
Where did you say, Karen?
Scotland. Anywhere in Scotland. Yeah.
Scotland, you said?
Yep.
That is like my dream vacation.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
You actually been there?
Yeah, because that was on my bucket list. So I finally said,
man,
I'm tired of, saying I want to go, I need to go. It's like I finally just made a decision one year. I'm like, I'm going. So
I love that.
well worth it. That's why I want to go back. Yeah.
I love it.
Good to hear that you want to go back because that's on my list.
Yep. Let's go.
Let's do it.
A yacht in the Mediterranean. Sorry, Linda. A yacht in the Mediterranean somewhere. I don't know. On the water in the Mediterranean on a yacht.
I was thinking on a cruise ship, so we were on the same wavelength there. Same timing, same wavelength. On a cruise ship, then we're beautiful.
Exactly.
I guess I would I'd like to be in I'd like to be in Key West, Florida. I have been there several times, but it's been several years. And as more and more places are becoming commercialized, Key West is as well, but it still has an authenticity to it. And you encounter a lot of characters, and it's just it's kind of just where I feel my happy place. I feel very comfortable there.
That's awesome. I've been in Florida for over 30 years and I still haven't gone to Key West.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone that goes has a great time. I just haven't been down there. Haven't made it out there. So
it's definitely changed in the last 20 years because that's when I started going 20 plus years ago. But there's still, like I said, there's still an authenticity to it.
That's awesome. Hard to find nowadays.
Yep.
There's so many beautiful places to be on this planet. I think anywhere can be a paradise. If I could be anywhere, it would be in an art studio.
Nice.
Are you an artist yourself, or you just like to?
Yeah, sorry. My screen disappeared. I am an artist. And, I think whether you travel outside of work or if you have hobbies outside of work, these things are really important to balancing a full-time career. And so, that particular outlet for me, a place to spend time, maybe it's a reading nook, time away can be a great escape as well.
Mm-hmm.
That is so awesome because we can get wrapped up in the busyness of work. You still need that time to enjoy something outside of work, kind of like disconnect for a little bit. So that's awesome. All right, one last question. Superpower. If you had to pick between flying or being invisible, which one would it be?
Flying.
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 I agree. Flying.
Okay. John, what is it?
I'll buck the trend here and go with invisible because I think that you can learn so much being invisible.
I was like, I'll be invisible and I can get on the plane and fly.
There you go. You can just take everything in around you and people don't know that you're there, so they're not going to be filtered.
John, I can see that in you.
John wants to be a spy.
There you go.
Little fly on the wall.
Yeah.
That's the listening part.
Yes.
Well,
For
thank
sure.
you everyone so much. This has been amazing. It's been an honor and a joy to just have this conversation. And teens, when you listen to this, write the notes down. There was a lot of gems, a lot of golden nuggets put out there. Write it down, replay it, study these things, and apply these things. That's the key. It's not just listening to it, but also applying it. That's take these tools and apply it from people who have the experience. So again, thank you everyone for being a part of this. It's been an amazing time. And what we're going to do now is we're going to say goodbye and thank you again.
Thanks, Mario. It's been great.
Bye. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you to our lovely panelists for taking time today to be a part of our Career Lounge sessions. And thank you for joining us. We hope today's conversations have given you insight and clarity on making plans after high school. Again, special thanks to our Career Lounge session sponsor, EXL, a leading data analytics and digital operations and solutions company. To learn more about EXL, go to their website at exlservice.com. Thanks to their sponsorship, we're able to bring this lounge to you at no cost. We look forward to seeing you at the next Career Lounge sessions. All the sessions are here on YouTube. Make sure you go to our playlist and watch all of them. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this and future sessions with your friends. Thank you.